Hello, race fans. I promised, I know I'm a little overdue. I promised that I would have a video to give to Jess to post on Quest Racing about why did we shut down Quest Racing operations. So before I do that, I thought maybe I would just share first a little bit about Quest Racing. So Quest Racing is just basically Quest Industrial. It's a group we made in which we were tasked with handling the financial responsibilities of sponsorship along with our sponsors that came into us to Quest and be able to handle those. And part of the dream of Quest is it had a twofold. One is I used it as a ministry to be able to live the life of a Christian, someone who loves Jesus Christ, and do that throughout our racing ministry by treating those the same as Jesus would treat them, and also by sharing the gospel with others. And I think we've done a really good job of that as a race ministry and a racing community at Quest Racing. Along with that is just to share a little bit about that is the other is we wanted to give racers that normally couldn't afford to race or maybe needed financial help to race or aspiring racers a chance to have some sponsorship money to help them move. And that includes everything from young to rookies to seasoned veterans. We've just partnered with what we felt were the right people. And with that, we've sponsored a lot of people. I think over 50 different motorsports, everything from go-karting to tractor pulling, drag racing, asphalt, dirt, and it's been an amazing time. And so really have enjoyed that and what we've done there. So we love our racers, we love our fans, track promoters. I mean, we've just got a lot of great people that we get to race with and race against. Not all are great, we all know that. But as far as racetrack promoters, it was great to see Wayne by Wisconsin Dells. That was a track that we were afraid was going to close up altogether. We get to see Terry over at Jefferson and Cliff running the place. Through the years, Terry Kunis and Dave Grunberg, and now Greg McCarnes, whom I have a ton of respect for. These guys are thinking, they're trying to make things work, and I know it's just changed a lot from our racing community. Back in the old days, racetrack promoters and owners could make money because there were fans in the seats, and now this year nowadays a lot of them have to have sponsorship to make the money float, and things are just completely different in racing than they were 20 years ago, right? But through this all, we've got to meet some awesome people. So before I explain why did we shut down operations, I thought maybe I would share a little bit about some of the rumors that we've heard and that have been shared with us. So one is, I've heard Quest Racing is bankrupt. Is that true? No, Quest Racing is not bankrupt. We're doing just fine. Quest Industrial is fine. No. So I don't mean to laugh. Another one we heard, a fellow racer was in at a race shop, and that owner called me as soon as he left and said, "Hey, this guy's going around telling everybody you're liquidating because you've got sponsor trouble and financial trouble from that sponsor trouble." That is not the case at all. Our sponsors, we do really well with them, and we're very blessed to have them. We've heard that Don's company is financially in trouble. Again, not the case. We're in the middle of our second expansion. We're going to be doing another one starting in the spring. It'll make Quest 3 times the size it was just 4 years ago. So we're growing there. No, did you hear that Don and his wife are getting a divorce? No, I didn't. That's because we're not. My wife is my best friend. She's been through all this with me. She's a wonderful woman. Love her to death. She's just, we're doing just fine. Thank you for your concern. No. Don's mad at the racing community. I'm not mad at the racing community. I love you guys. There's times I get frustrated at you and your behavior. There's things I've seen over the years, but it's interesting. So, extensioning onto that, so I've been in the local racing community now for 10 years. Before that, I did racing on my own. I took a 8-year hiatus when I had my younger, and you can hear my cat, he's not very happy, but in my younger years, I did go-karting and shifter kart racing. A lot of you know I won some championships doing that. Just really been blessed throughout the years to be able to do what I do. But one thing I've noticed in this last 10 years of racing is things have changed a lot. In the 90s and early 2000s, we had good runs, a lot of sponsorship money, especially on the asphalt side. earlier, late 80s and through the 90s, it was known that, if you worked hard as a short track racer and you could wheel, you could make it up in the NASCAR. And that's all changed. It's a totally different, right? You've got people that can wheel, and they're not going anywhere because they don't have the big money, big names to back that up. And frankly, it's just been tough and difficult for them to go anywhere. And along with that is, we've seen a decrease in car counts, right? Because people are trying to make it with their own money and everything else. And along with that is the decrease in count sometimes has to do with purses, has to do with a lot of different things, right? But I just want to caution racers. There's been this reciprocal thing going on. The car counts have dropped here, especially during economic times. That's when really the car count drops really happen, was in economic times. And racers would leverage against the tech officials and the tracks, and someone would get caught with an infraction and need to be DQ'd, and they'd be like, "You DQ me, I'll never come back racing." And the track promoter and the owner are worried about car counts, so they're like, "Well, I'm just going to warn you." And then it becomes this crippling fear that the track promoters and owners have had to operate in, worried about losing cars. You lose one car, it always seems like, hey, it's going to be a domino effect. And the fact of the matter is we are in the entertainment industry as racers. And if we're not entertaining, there's no fans. And if there's no fans, we can't be entertained because there's no purse. So it's kind of a cyclical thing, and the same with the fear. So racers, listen, you go through the pit gates, you agree to the track rules. And if you want to cheat, that's on you. But you go through the pits, you sign, and you agree to all the terms and conditions. If you get caught cheating, own up to it and just take it on the chin. And you want to know something? Sometimes cheating happens incidentally. I know there's been instances where people have left a carb on from a different super late race to another one, and chips and things like that. But there's also been blatant cheating, right? People bypassing the chips and people cheating on left side weight. Listen, I've got a story where 2 years ago I witnessed a racer who, there's a lot of people that like the guy, and he couldn't make left side percentage. And the track, they were telling the track official, like, "Hey, listen, the tech official, listen, it's because of our shocks. Can we have some time?" And he's like, "Listen, I'll let you come through 3 times. You can go around and come back in." And well, they couldn't pass first 2 times. Third time, they started taking off their Milwaukee Impacts and throwing the batteries in the helmet and shoving the chargers down the rail. And I didn't say anything to track official because I figured, well, he's going to know the total weight's going to go up. And sure enough, that's what happened. The total weight went up. And what interested me is the son and the dad were absolutely irate. And they were yelling at this track official and just being absolute jerks. And the track official took it well. And it just didn't end well altogether. It was just an ugly scene, right? But I was just like, the audacity to have zero remorse for blatantly cheating, right? I get living in the gray area. All racers, you guys, we all push the limits of trying to get as far as we can to close to pushing the edge on everything without going over. And hey, I get that. But this was just blatant cheating, and I've seen a lot of it throughout the years. And Bob Hansberry, he's an amazing man. Being able to see him, he can spot things a mile away. He really can. And he taught me a lot. But, we are in the entertainment industry, so shame on you guys who want to use fear as a motivator to manipulate track promoters and owners. Huge difference between dirt and asphalt. Dirt's just kind of stuck to the roots and continued on, and asphalt, because of all the sponsorships and everything that happened in the 90s, I think just kind of bent to the racer a little too much. And we became prima donnas and trying to manipulate things. Car counts are all over the place. There's a lot of different reasons we can blame on it. But here's what I do know. Racers, if you can band together, show respect for the racetrack and its rules. And I know track promoters are trying to work with each other to try to get some continuity going on, right? Maybe the racing community would be better. And so, especially if you're not cutting each other down on social media. I mean, the amount of hate stuff going back and forth and everything else, just ridiculous. And, it amazes me. And I've seen at the track, I can't tell you how many times I've seen, as far as a team, Bob Hansberry's helped countless people. And even people that raced against us. And it's amazing to me how some of these people that we race against, Bob will still help. They'll stand at the back of our trailer when they're running poor. Bob will give them their thoughts. They'll go and work on their car. And we'll go up on the hill, and if Robert gets slighted or sent to the back or something, they're the first ones cheering. And Bob still endures it. And I'll tell you what, that man, he's got a huge heart, because I get frustrated long before he does. But it's that kind of mentality, that kind of backbiting and sliding and cutting that just doesn't get it done, right? And so be fair to one another. So now for what you guys have been waiting for. Why did we shut down Quest Racing? Well, Quest Racing is a ministry. We've never looked to be purely soluble on Quest Racing Ventures, but we established it for a twofold reason. One was to help Quest with its marketing efforts, to bring other sponsors into the fold to help float that cost and also promote them in the same manner, and to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to people, and to give racers financial help in the racing endeavors. And I think we did a really good job over the last 10 years of doing that and working at it. And one of the criteria is that every year we would get work out of that we'd get new referrals from customers, and it came from, our race fans, our racers, fellow sponsors, things like that, right? And this last year was our first year in which we didn't get any new work. And again, we weren't looking to be soluble, but we had to see work, and there's a lot of effort that I put into it, and a lot of effort that Tim at Quest puts into it, and all the people at Quest. They're giving up some of their money to hope to get a return on investment on marketing. And this year it just didn't work, and I know we have just an amazing group of fans. We have an amazing group of track personnel we work with, safety crews, the people that tend the gates, the concessions people. And then our racers. Our racers are wonderful people. I think of Bob and Robert Hansberry, getting to meet them. Nico Leonard, met him through racing. J.D. Leonard, Tyler and Will in the sprints. Mark DePorter, met him through that. And I know Bob gave Mark a ton of help over this last year and a half. Robbie Rux, Chris Tolliver, Johnny Baumeister, to see how well he did this last year. Jacob Nottestead, to develop all these people that we have. And, especially Robert and Bob, and it's been a blessing. I consider them part of our family. We're like brothers. I just love those guys, and we're going to forever be joined together no matter what happens in the future with racing or not. But there's just a culture difference between things, especially the way we approached our team. And one thing is bringing that gospel to Jesus Christ. And this year, I just didn't have the time to put towards it. We really focused on growing the business, and I know I left a lot of things undone as far as a CEO of a company, trying to get a race team program to continue. And really what I did is I just let our racers down. I should have done better with the onboarding process for them. It's not their fault. We really should have got back to our roots of when we first started sponsorship. We required so much out of our racers. We went through, we had them come in Quest, learn about what we do, help them understand how to field some questions, how to promote our company and get new customers in the door. They would have to find us 5 people in which we could go talk to about robotics that were in business, in which we might be able to get some more business. And we didn't do any of that. We haven't done it for the last couple of years, and it just kind of dwindled, and it was my own fault. It wasn't theirs, so don't blame them. That's kind of where I'm at, right? And so we thought about a lot of things. Maybe we could take this year to retool. Maybe we could do this or that. And really, at the end of the day, it was it's not fair to keep this burden onto Quest, and it's not fair to not do a good job for our people that we sponsor, all our racers and teams. And frankly, I don't have the time this year to retool a racing team. We've got a lot of growth going on, and I have some personal endeavors this year that are going to take even more time away from the track for me to focus on some endeavors I have for myself and also for Robert. So with that being said, that's why we decided to shut down Quest Racing. So what has happened is there has been another company that has bought Quest Racing and its assets, and so essentially just that they're going to be probably renaming that team. They're gonna work the efforts to retool it. How we'll see it resurface, I'm not exactly entirely sure, but I know this much is, I'm always going to be involved in the racing community. We have a lot of tracks that we help out. I think Quest Industrial will continue to do some of that as far as a track level. I don't see Quest Industrial is no longer going to probably sponsor any individuals. They will probably continue to promote tracks at a certain level or kids clubs. But again, that's going to be for us to decide a little later. That's not a decision we can make right now. So I just want to say this. I want to thank all my racers that have been part of Quest Racing. I want to thank all these tracks that stay open, the owners, the promoters. I want to just thank Left-Hander Chassis. They've been amazing to us, and I know we still got a future together at SEM level. Brad Lemire down there, Brad is my best friend, aka Chubby. That guy's like a brother to me. I think a lot of people never thought that we'd get along as well as we do. That guy has always believed in me, along with the Hansberries, and I'm just truly blessed to have all those people in my life. I want to thank Quest Industrial and all my family there at Quest Industrial, and I want to thank my family. Racing takes a lot, and I also want to thank my church. They've been an uber great supporter and per teams for us. So, listen, you guys, Todd Christofferson, man, that guy is an amazing man of God, and I just want to say thank you, Todd, for all that you've done, the encouragement, the prayers. You're my brother from another mother, man. And I especially want to thank you, the race fans. And I pray that you guys continue to go out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights to go watch racing, and sometimes Wednesdays even, to your local track. There is a lot of good racing going on. Racers, remember, we're in the entertainment industry. Uphold the rules. Take it on the chin when you don't. And just help one another. Just really help one another and being genuine with one another. I love to see people prosper. I love to see people accomplish things and do well. I pray that you all in 2019, this is my slogan. I told my people this today. I said, my thing for 2019 is 2019, live the dream. And I'm just going to say, I pray that each one of you live the dream for yourselves and for one another. And then remember that we have a Lord and Savior through Jesus Christ that loves you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me. God bless you guys and have a good night.